Hey guys, today we're going to be working on drawing the face. Here's what you need. You need a mirror of some sort, anything will do. Any kind of pencil and an eraser, a little piece of tissue, Kleenex or something like this, toilet paper, paper towel, 9 by 12 inch drawing paper or similar. A piece of printer paper will do, although I don't prefer it. And your own face. I don't want you to draw a picture of somebody off the internet I don't want you to copy a photograph. I want you to draw your actual reflection in the mirror. So stick to what I'm asking you. I'm not trying to make things hard on you. I actually want you to learn. Okay. Now, sometimes people have a little bit of, I don't know, they're apprehensive about drawing their own face, or they get like kind of a funny feeling about it. Don't worry about it. You know how to draw. It's like, I think in the case of the face, you're just not sure the spatial relationship, like how close something is, how far away is from something else, and all these relationships. If we learn a few cheats or good rules to go by, all of this will start to make sense. But it might not be perfect on the first try, right? I mean, that would be a miracle. You'll be very, very good, though, if you follow these rules. So let's take a look at what they are first, and then I'll show you how to draw the face. So how to draw the portrait. Here's some kids from a few years ago. It's been like 4 or 5 years ago, actually. They've gone and graduated. This girl works at Walmart right now. Anyway, maybe I shouldn't be saying that. But let's look at the first rule instead. If we look at this, this should indicate to you a rule that I'm trying to show you, which is the eyes are in the middle of the head mathematically. You can measure it if you don't believe me, but you can take my word for it. If you measure from your chin to the top of your head and multiply by 0.5 or divide by 2, you will get the location of your eyes. So if the head is 10 inches tall, the eyes are 5 inches up from the chin or 5 inches down from the top of the head. Okay, it's kind of weird. Sometimes you think they're higher because of the hair. All right, so I'll get this out of the way. This is just distracting. So that's where we'll start. Okay, we'll start in the middle and work our way out from the eyes to get used to this. Here's another rule I want to throw at you. This is called the nose rule. I don't know if it's really called that, but this is what I call it. The height of the nose, like from the bottom of the nose to the top of the eyebrows, that's kind of where your nose is, right? If you want to find the height of the forehead from here to here, it's the same as the top of the nose to the bottom of the nose, and so on from the bottom of the nose to the chin. These are all equal, so I could say A is equal to B is equal to C. Okay, so once I find the length of the nose, I can find how far down the chin is. It's nice. Okay, I'll show you how it works in real life. This is how you find the width of the mouth and the placement of the eyes. There's two rules here. The eyes are one eye width apart from each other. So if you're drawing the face and the eye happens to be, 1.5 inches long on your paper, depending on how big you're drawing, it'll probably be about 1.5 inches on a piece of paper this big. Let's just go with that. This will be also, the space between the two will also be 1.5 inches, and then the next eye will be 1.5 inches. So you have 3 1.5 inch blocks laid next to each other. One is a blank space and the two are eyes. And then from the middle of the eyes, if you go straight down where the pupil is, and it's like, pretend this is tears dropping right down, straight down, it hits the corner of the mouth. Okay? I hope you never cry, but maybe when you cry, you notice the tear runs right down in the corner of your mouth. And then this one is a good way to find how long the nose is if you've already drawn the eyes. So if I know how the spacing of the eyes and I'm setting this all up, these are all, related to one measurement is related to, it's proportionate. That's where we get the term, all the proportions are correct. So if this measurement here, if we make it into an equilateral triangle, the distance from center to center, and we make an upside down equilateral triangle, we can find where the bottom of the nose is. It will be inside this triangle, as you can see in these two examples. They're almost exactly the same. Okay. Now everybody's face is a little different. Your artistic ability should be the final ruling. You know, what you think it looks like. Does it look right? You know, this is just to get you close enough so you can get it all the way. You know, it's like if we know these rules, we can get it almost to the finish line and then push it over the finish line. So start off with a line that's 4 inches down from the top of your paper, roughly. I just want it to be a little bit above middle, whatever the mathematical middle is. Paper sizes are going to vary, but just a little bit above middle. And then this, you know, from the North Pole to the South Pole, I want this to be dead center on the middle. Okay, my drawing is 18, so I'm putting it at 9. Yours might be 4.5. If your paper is 9, you know, whatever the middle is. So do the math. Measure this, multiply by half, or divide by 2, and get these lines in. Nice and light. They're just meant to be light right now. You got that? Okay. If you have this in the middle, move it up. All right. So for this general size of paper, I'm just going to say it's a 9 by 12. Yours might be 8.5 by 11. Sorry if these numbers are backwards. But I think 1.5 inches is just right. So what I'm doing is I'm taking 1.5 inches and I'm centering it over the midline, like it's straddling, like you're on a fence, you know, and you have 1 foot here and you have 1 foot here, and this is going right up the middle, the fence. So if I put 0.75 or 3/4 of an inch on this side, so it'll be 3/4 on this side, 3/4 on this side, then I've got a total of 1.5, but it's centered right in the middle, right? You get that math? Even if you don't, that's okay. Just take 1.5 inches of measurement and set it over your midline and make sure it looks centered. We're going to base this drawing off of that size for an eye. Okay, so I have 3 marks. This is going to be an eye. Look in your mirror if you need to, but an eye isn't shaped like it is in a cartoon. It's actually pretty flat. This isn't anime yet. This is like real life proportions. Once you learn real life proportions, that helps you learn how to, you know, distort and change them to suit whatever your needs are for whatever you're doing. If you're doing cartoons or something. Okay? So I'm not going to do any detail up front. I'm just going to do the layout. So I'm going to find the middle of this eye. Again, this will be 3/4 of an inch between here and here and here and here. All of these, if I cut them in half again. But you can just do it by eye, no pun intended. Looks like a cat right now, right? So whatever this measurement is right here, it should be 3 inches. Okay? Swing that down from your midline and keep it on the mark and make a little mark there. You could draw it in if you want to. This is that equilateral triangle I was talking about. You can see it here. So I'm taking this measurement from here to here, and I'm just copying it from here to here and from here to here. Like, this is getting complicated, Mr. Nail. That's okay, because like I don't have to, I just know these, and then when I draw, I just look at it, you know, this will be the first time you're hitting it, and you know in life, the first time you hit something, the first time you go to do it, you might feel a little confused, but then you're like, oh, as soon as you start learning a couple, then you know, and then you can concentrate on some of the ones you don't remember, okay? You can always rewind the tape, in your case. But I know the nose, I know that it's going to be right here, up inside of here, and not any lower than that. Even if you have a really long nose, it'll only come down to maybe there. It's going to be a little bit above, like somewhere in there. It's like, well, I don't know how wide to make the nose. You could just look right in the mirror and see that the nose doesn't go any wider than an eye. I didn't mention that in the rules, but I'm telling you now. It won't be any wider than that blank space I was talking about in between the eyes. So now I'm going to draw that. Again, I'm not going into a lot of detail early on. because that's a waste. If you have to move something, it's harder to move, and you're drawing detail on top of something that could be wrong. So don't do that yet. But what I'm doing for the nose here is I just kind of made like this kind of a shape. I guess it kind of looks like a hill, a valley, and two hills. And then I just put like parentheses. Wow, this is the nostril. You see it as a nose, and there might be like a bump here. Okay? It's just a kind of like an icon, kind of like a symbol for a nose right now. But you can already start to see this looking like a human face arrangement. Okay, when we talk about relationship of space, the distance between things, it's not special, although your face is very special. It's spatial. Space. This is the way you spell it, and that's what it means. The spatial relationship amongst the features of the face are very close to what I'm showing you. Like I said earlier, there is some variation person to person, but we're all roughly close to this. I know that the side of the face is less between the edge of the eye and the edge of the side of the face here. It's very thin right here. So I know this is going to be less than the width of an eye. So I put those marks there just to make myself feel better right now. I can erase this because I don't need it anymore. I have the nose placed. These guides I can clean up with my eraser. Alright. I'm good. If this makes you feel better, you can put in something like, notice that when you draw the eye, say if this is the eye, it's kind of like a smashed stop sign shape. This tips up. All eyes are slightly slanted. I don't care how straight your eyes are. This is the tear duct. But the iris and the pupil, the iris is slightly obscured by the eyelid and sometimes by the upper eyelid and the lower eyelid. So don't draw an eye like this with this and this, like all this space in here. Not unless you're getting poked with a pitchfork or shocked with an electrode will your eye look like this, or if you see a ghost, maybe your eye will open up that wide. Or if somebody says they're cooking your favorite dinner, your eyes may widen. But in most general daily instances, you know, in your regular life, this is relaxed, slightly over the top. You see some of the eyelid here. This is dark because this is just a cave. It's like a hollow cave inside there. And this is usually darker up here because the shadow, most of the time the light's coming down from this way, and the eyelid covers it, so that's a little lighter, a little more light's getting in right there. This will go darker, and the eyelashes will radiate. They go up like this, and then as they turn, they go down first, and then they flip up. They're there to keep bits of dust and debris out of your eyes. You can see this starting to look correct, and then the lower eyelashes, very sparse, but they also radiate. The eyelid is shaped like this, and the eyelashes come out like this. They're curved, but when you look at them from the front, they kind of fan out like that. Okay, get into that. You know, you can get into that stuff. I don't know if I'll get into it in this video. There's a lot to talk about the details, but right now we're talking about placement. Okay, if we can get the placement right, then we can spend all of our time and all our intent and all our fun on doing detail on top of something that's in the right place, for heaven's sake. Okay, I'll just darken this for now. Okay, I'm doing this from memory, but when I get it on there a little better, I'll probably start looking at myself in the mirror to get specifics. All right, so I was saying before, from here to here, maybe like this line, there's a dent right here in your skull that goes inward where your eyebrows are. Your brow sticks out, it juts out, so your eyebrows here can keep things, sweat and so forth, out of your eyes. The eyebrows are right above the eyes. They're not very far up. Okay? Pretty close together. And some people have heavier and darker. Mine kind of point up here on the top. Right above. Okay? Don't put them way up, like I said. Like, I think is where I'll draw wrong on the side. You know, if you have that, like, people will put them way up here. You know, like, I don't know, some people do that. They take almost all the eyebrow, or they take it completely off and they pencil it in. I don't know how good that looks. I'll leave that decision up to you. But they mostly will just rest very close to the top there. And if I take this measurement now, A, copy it down to here, that'll be where the bottom of my chin is, and I take A, B, A, C, that'll be where the top of my forehead is, more or less. I might be going off the page here a little bit with the top of my head. I'll find out in a second, because now that I have this, like, I know that's where the bottom of my chin is. I can get my first rule now. I say, here's the bottom half, there's the top. It's going right to the very top of the paper, so my hair is going to go off the page. That's unfortunate. I should have probably lowered it down a little bit, but I wanted to include the neck. All right, this is our practice one though, so I'll keep that in mind next time. I'm going to find the width of the mouth by just drawing straight down from the center of the eye. And I don't need a special thing for finding where the mouth is. I just know there's like about a finger's width, or maybe the height of an eye between the bottom of the nose and the bottom of the lip. And on the midline, I'll draw like a V shape, a very flat V. And then I'll just let this come down, the upper lip come down to this line. It's probably a little smaller than that in most people. Okay? But the upper lip looks like, you know, kind of like a roller coaster. You're going up and down, up and down. This could be rounded on some people. This is called Cupid's bow, also known as the philtrum. This is called the philtrum. I think it's IM or U. I don't remember if it's IM or UM. I haven't written it in a long time. I think it's IM, philtrum, also known as Cupid's bow, because if you turn this sideways, it looks like a bow. And you can put the arrow right here. Okay. Cupid's bow because it's, you know, the lips are kissing supposedly. I think that's the connection. But this will point down, and then this goes up, down, up like this. Right? Check your own mouth and just use yours. It's good to put something down as an artist. Put something down, see what's wrong with it, and adjust it. Just take your best guess. Your instincts are usually right. The lower lip is smaller in width than the upper lip, because the upper lip kind of covers the other one like a blanket. Okay, it's on top a little bit. Okay, they come together, but the upper lip covers the little bit of the lower lip. Okay, kind of just makes simple common sense to me. Here I have eyelids. Right, I don't need this anymore. It might confuse me. I'm almost done already. Look at the spatial relationships on things you can't find. How close is the hairline to the eyebrow? There's not much space there. It kind of kicks in like this and then back out. This shape here on my head goes like this. Okay, the top of my head is here. Now I'll change the hair soon, but the head will kind of look like this. Very big. Your instinct's going to be to say, oh, no, I don't want to have a great big head. I don't want to have a great big forehead. I want my nose to be small. You're thinking of what people may think looks good or not, but your head is big. Okay, mine is super big. But my hair sticks up like this most of the time. I can't help it. It just does. And maybe something like this. So I put in some of these marks, starting to make it look a little bit more natural. It's starting to look pretty decent. The sides of the face now, guys. I can get rid of this, I think. Sometimes it helps just to put like this, the bridge of the nose, like that. But notice that on most faces, your face is going to angle in like this slightly. So from here to here, this is where the chin turns right here, because you open your mouth to talk, or more importantly to put food in, this is where the jaw will hinge and open up so you can yawn. So from here to this point, I want you to just slightly angle this. I'm using a ruler, just slight angle inward. Pay attention to that, okay? It does angle in slightly. I actually have like a cheekbone here that protrudes a little bit. But now look, I was talking about the jaw. This actually comes out a little bit, and then in, and then like this. It's like rounded, and it's amazing how short the chin is. Okay, and it's not going to look. It's not really looking too right. It looks like I have this too narrow. Let me fix that. I want to narrow it out too much. A little less angular here. I'll sometimes just make this isn't starting to turn hilly. I'll sometimes just make a series of marks and keep the best ones. Like I'll make a bunch of marks, and then I'll just take away the ones that I don't like. But let's get in the neck. The neck is as wide as the eyes are. This is such a nice trick. From here, straight down. From here, straight down. And then you'll usually have like this situation going on. Your shoulders are higher than you think from the front. Okay, so now I have something good to start drawing from. And let's see. Turn. Now I'm starting to look in the mirror. You can look in the mirror anytime. It's a little harder for me because I'm drawing and talking and all this stuff at the same time. And, so I'm just trying to make sure I teach you the rules right rather than trying to make a perfectly good drawing. But I'm missing really something very important. You know what it is? What is it? I know you know. Okay. I can't hear you. Ha, funny, right? I really can't hear you. The ears will come down to the bottom of where the bottom of the nose is, and they'll come all the way up to the top where the eyebrows are. If you don't believe me, look in the mirror. If I go like this, if I put my finger here and I turn, it hits me in the eyebrow. If I put my finger at the earlobe and I turn, it hits me in the bottom of the nose.
Alexis Preisner, Elena Farrell, and Brian Lenhart, please come to the office. Also a reminder to all volleyball, the JV game at Freedom has been canceled for tonight. Varsity members only are to report to the school at 5:15. Departure is 5:30. Game time is 7 p.m.
Okay, so as I was saying, the ears. So the way we fit them in is they actually start growing out of the head, like right here. You don't see much from the front, but it comes up, then it goes down, then it goes like this. I'm just drawing a very generic ear. That cartilage goes up like this. There's a hole here, but it's you know, it's skewed because it's from the side, and this will usually, like, it depends on the kind of earlobes you have. But a little bit of hair comes down in front of all that business. So most people, they'll have some sideburns here. Okay, now I have to work on this size of this head and all this other stuff. But I think I've just shown you. I probably don't want to be looking like I'm not wearing a shirt. Put a shirt on, right? Okay, that looks weird. Shirt, t-shirt on. Now, as far as shading, I'll clean all this up. Now, I don't have a pencil, I have a marker. But for shading, I'll lightly mark in some strokes. And then with the tissue paper, the little piece of toilet paper, I can blend that in and smear it a little bit to get a smooth gray, and I can pull that up. As long as I don't touch it with a blank fingertip, you know, like just a nude fingertip, a naked fingertip. Don't do that with an uncovered finger, because you have greases in your fingers that will rub the graphite into the paper and it will never come out. If you use a piece of paper towel or something to smear and start putting in some value into your drawing, you can easily erase it right back out and it'll come right back off. But I'll look for the darkest parts, and this is just a bonus, you know. If you want to shade it, fine. If you want to just do a line drawing and it's accurate, I would accept that, but I'd like to see it shaded. Some of the darker parts, you know, the lips are like two values darker than the skin near them. The upper lip is always a little darker than the lower lip because, again, the light's coming down from the top. I might pull some of that out. See, I might erase some of that. Make that darker. Okay, this is nostrils here. They're very dark. It's usually going to be, yeah, see, like, I'll try to be a perfectionist. I don't need to in this case. Darken in these eyebrows. These are easy to draw because they're just like hairs, and the pencil makes a nice kind of hair mark. You kind of mind going like some different directions. Look at it closely on your mirror. Not like those lips being so dark. Probably come in and use a finer line. It's a lot harder to do with the marker than with the pencil. These are usually pretty dark right near the corners of the mouth. So it's yours to work with. There's a shape here. It's like looks like a bridge. Pay attention to that. Maybe you have a cleft chin. I have some problems with maybe the eyes being slightly too big. But like I said, these rules will get you close, and then you need to make adjustments. I'm going to do this over again. But go ahead. Let's draw. Follow these rules and see what you come up with.